One of the things that I've noticed for a while about the music industry is that it mimics the pimp industry. I'm not sure what came first, the pimping of black bodies within our own culture or the music industry, but they sure do go hand in hand, right? It's called sex, drugs, rock and roll for a reason, but we know that rock and roll is just a gentrified name for rhythm and blues. I'm going to talk more specifically about just the blackness of this and the black experience and how just the extraction of life, liberty, and happiness and human trafficking. So there's a couple of concepts I just kind of have floating around in my head. There's one of the biggest markets that connected black men to white men was the trafficking of black women. And when slavery ended, so did the houses, these I guess for lack of a better term, these whorehouses, where fancy girls is what they're called. Fancy girls are specifically biracial, black and white women who have a white dad and a black enslaved mom as parentage. They are then sold to these houses and forced into prostitution to white men. And I remember reading this passage that one guy, he gained great pleasure in knowing that he was essaying, he can say whatever he wants, but he was essaying the offspring of one of his colleagues, right? And within that, though, we're forgetting that in order to get these seemingly, prized possessions of a fancy girl, you would have to rape multiple monoracial black women to produce that in the first place, which is just a shrug, whatever. And I think it's also a blatant denial of how much white men desire black women just as they are without any multiracial background. And I'm sure they have to appease themselves and appease their counterparts, their white women as well. But yeah, there just wouldn't be all these biracial children if white men, and it's not just the slave masters, it was also the people who just felt like it, because that's what whiteness afforded white men's ability to sexually assault black women regularly without any consequences, and children too. So there's a lot of biracial children walking around the South for that to not really be true. Not that, and I'm not putting any type of positivity on that. Being desired doesn't mean you have any fucking power, because there's a lot of powerless people that people in power desire to SA, or desire to have relationships with, relations, as Bill Clinton said long ago. So when slavery ended, so did the easy access to black women and the that specific industry.